Learned helplessness. How do you learn to be helpless? There's a lot of things happening on this planet, in this world, in our own existences, hell, in our own families. A lot of it we can't control. People say, well, you're going to be judged on the way you raise your kids. I've seen a lot of kids raised horribly and turn out to be amazing. I've seen a lot of kids raised amazingly and turn out to be horrible. You just can't call it most times, and a lot of us think we have all the power to do so. Moving into the new intelligence, the artificial intelligence world, a lot of people are saying that it's going to create all these issues. Data centers are going to relieve us of our ability to capture fresh water and actually hydrate ourselves. They're going to cause a lot of environmental damage. Well, if you've been watching, it seems like the people that were so much for the environment are now kind of neutral on the subject because, well, they want to build data centers. And then you watch the way that the other news is being perpetrated, the way that they're spreading the news, they want you to believe a particular way of thinking. And it also depends on what channel you're tied into. You could be tied into CNN and get one view, MSNBC another view, Fox and another view. So there are all these options out there for us to be able to absorb and digest content. The problem is that at some small level, even if you don't want it to, that stuff sticks. It's just like social media. You start to look at social media, you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Before you know it, hours have gone by. Probably not the best practice if you want to try to keep some semblance of sanity, because they're feeding you those things that make you react in the most vehement ways. It's interesting to see how human beings have gone from being attacked in the jungle by some tiger hiding behind a bush to now having to get to see these things as they develop in our feed as we're scrolling through. And the reason why they feed us that in that way is because that's the only thing that gets us a reaction. There is nothing out in the wild that we really have to be worried of. Sure, getting carjacked or having somebody, trying to get your money or your wallet from you in some dark parking lot. Well, yeah, of course, that problem still exists. But it's not as common potentially as it used to be. And now a lot of the crime is now being propagated online using these systems, using scare tactics in order to get you to react in a particular way and respond in a particular way. Sign up for this. 5 reasons why you're going to lose your job, and the number one reason you need to implement to protect yourself from that. 1995 or whatever it may be. So there's a lot of this. So what I've done is I'm that actual eternal optimist. In most cases in my life, I've been able to rebound. I figured out at one point that my bottom actually had a basement. And when I got to the basement, I pushed off as hard as I could so at least I could get another breath before sinking again. It took a while. Addictions, trying to fix those, working through life, trying to make yourself better, constantly trying to refine the process, but never once giving up. The giving up thing, I think, is important. With new police officers, we would always tell them about the will to live. It always seemed like the bad guys would get some life-threatening wound that would take anybody else out, but because they were so bad, so amazingly horrible, they survived. Because they're not going to let any other MFer take them out off this planet. But a cop gets a paper cut, and then all of a sudden the infection spreads, and they end up dying. You see these examples. There was that cat they put in some refrigerated truck, and the refrigerated truck never changed temperatures because it wasn't even connected or plugged in, and he thought he was freezing to death, and in actuality, he convinced himself he was freezing to death and died of hypothermia, even though the truck itself didn't get in any way, shape, or form anywhere close to something that would kill somebody by that particular inflection. So look into that study. But we're very happy. We're very fast to put ourselves on the shelf. We're very fast to give up. We're very fast to watch something and then say, this is how it is. This must be true. And in essence, a lot of the news we're watching is driving us to a place that we normally wouldn't go. But the powers that be, whoever's running the channel or the system or the news outlet, they want to move us into. It maybe it's a political event to try to get more votes for a particular candidate. Maybe it's some other reason. Maybe it's some other reason to be able to focus our already divided attention onto some unknown enemy, something they're making up. Is artificial intelligence dangerous? Oh, absolutely. Are nuclear power plants dangerous? I believe they are. Nuclear bombs? Sure. Cold fusion? I don't think they've made it yet. But a lot of things are dangerous. A lot of things that are dangerous are being reported as being maybe even more dangerous to try to get some kind of thing to happen. Maybe likes, maybe shares, maybe whatever. Everything seems to be monetized. There don't seem to be many people out there, even from the pulpit, that are speaking in hopes of nothing just to be able to educate people and have them become their best selves. Learned helplessness. Being able to admit that you're helpless over many things. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to give up or stop. Like I said, just like you, I've had some horrible events in my life, and they just seem to keep coming. Nothing stopped, nothing slowed down. Even with learned helplessness, it's not like I've obliterated all of those issues. They still attack me, they still come in. But I understand that they're going to happen. I give credit to everybody to do what that person is going to do. I give complete credit to them. I might not be happy with it. I might not be sad about it. I mean, there's many different dimensions of emotional input or reaction. But what I do know is this: it's up to me to choose how I react. It's my choice. There's nobody on this planet, and this is the realization you need to come to. There's nobody on this planet that can make you feel a particular way. It's up to you. You don't have to react when somebody calls you an asshole. You don't have to react when somebody cusses you out, when somebody calls you fat, when somebody does whatever. There's bullies everywhere. That's probably never going to change. Even in the Star Trek universe, there were bullies. Anyway, my suggestion to you is you can accept everything that's going to happen. It's part of the process. You might not see it coming, but it might reveal itself, and then it might be a complete shock or in stress case. But it's up to you to decide how you're going to react. My suggestion of what I try to do is take it in, take it all the way in, and just give a moment of pause. Even if it looks bleak and dark and like a cancer, a cancer diagnosis that gives you a week to live, according to whom? The doctor? A lot of times when doctors don't inform the patients that they have 3 weeks to live, a lot of times the patients go longer, a lot longer. But once you start to put a number on it, and then the person reacts as most people would and say, 3 weeks, I better get my kill list put together, or whatever. But the point being, you don't have to take that as the word of God. Only God gives you the word of God. Everybody else that's trying to be or thinks that they have the open doorway, it's probably not the right God. So watch out for yourselves. Take a moment, learn helplessness, and understand that you truly have the power to react to everything that comes in, even the most horrible things. Now, it's definitely something that you should practice, something that's going to take time, but try to catch yourself. Try to catch yourself overreacting or reacting in a way that causes yourself damage. Nobody's going to do it for you. Whenever you get these spikes of cortisol and all this stress, they're actually life enders, ladies and gentlemen. They will cut down on your existence and comfort and time on this planet. So you need to balance that. You need to keep those in control. Nobody's going to do it for you. And most people are very happy when you have problems. They have no parade of their own, so they constantly rain on your parade. And I'm going to close with this. Sometimes people say you should tell the world what you're doing. I say no. I say keep it a secret. Don't go out there and spread the word as to your next great idea or what you're going to do. Or maybe you've tried a bazillion times to lose 20 pounds or 200 pounds, and this time you're going to start over again, so you need to tell everybody. All those people are going to say, my God, the last time this cat went on a diet, it was a mess for all of us. He turns into such a prick whenever he starts restricting calories or not eating at all. Keep it to yourselves. Let time answer their question. Let them figure it out. And don't be so quick to tell people everything you're up to. People really don't care. And in most cases, they probably can't stand it anyway. I'm Connor with Honor. Thanks for watching. Be safe, and we'll see you in the next one.